Hey guys, I got some requests to go back to the Tomb Raider Great Pyramid and show a budget run, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Sometimes on these bosses I go on there on the first day and these like global exclusive bosses and I just kind of overpower it and assume it's really easy, but a few people are having problems, so we're going to go for a budget run as requested. We're going to go to the EXT version. The same strategy works on the easy version as well. No items, 10 turns or less, no KOs. And this is the team we're going to use. We're not going to use a friend. You can and you should use a friend. There's no reason to do a 5-man clear. I'm just going to show you the very basics of what you need for this. And then, you can bring a friend to speed it up if you want to. I actually use Sephiroth to turn 1 OTK, which is why I kind of assumed it was really easy. But obviously Sephiroth is exceptionally powerful and not everyone has him. So we're going to use this team to do a really easy and basic clear. The boss does some AoE physical that we're going to evade cover with Galoof. You can use any evade cover tank you want. The boss does some single target fire magical attack that we're going to be provoking with Jesse. And then he does some AoE magical fire attacks as well. And we're going to use Carbuncle to buff up our team's resistance. And we should hopefully kill the boss before we got to worry about all the other stuff. Now the boss does have a break gauge that we're going to be not breaking. You don't want to break the gauge because it puts the boss into like phase 2, so to speak, and it makes the boss harder. We're going to ignore that. We're going to kill her while the gauge is still up and intentionally try to not break that gauge. And then for the boss also has evasion. So you want to use double hand DPS with accuracy or an accuracy buff or mages. Don't use dual wielders that don't have an accuracy buff because you're going to miss a whole lot. So this is the team we're going to use, really budget, cheap units. We're going to use Napi just because Napi is fun, but you can use any DPS unit you want to clear out this fight. Now the boss is only weak to fire and earth, by the way, so try to stick to fire or earth element. She very heavily resists all the other elements and you will deal a lot less damage. Okay, so to start off, we're going to use Galoof to just cover the party with counterattack position. We're going to guard Aerith. We're going to guard Gilgamesh. We're intentionally not hitting the boss. We don't want to break that gauge if we don't have to. Napi will do his or her Magnus in the base form for power up, and Jesse will just triple Midgar special to fill LB gauge so we can get Napi's power up to LB next turn. Okay, there are some attacks. There's some magic attacks on Jesse, which we're immuning. Galoof will now use Bar Farega from Carbuncle to boost fire resist. We'll shift Napi and do the shifted LB. We're going to also do the shifted LB on Aerith, and we're going to do the shifted LB on Jesse. So we're going to go ahead and do this. And I should have done Jesse first. Big whoops. Whatever. Not that big a deal. Doesn't really matter. And we're going to guard Gilgamesh. Honestly, Gilgamesh is not super important here, and we probably could have even dropped him entirely. I'm not sure why I brought Gilgamesh. It was going to be to break, but I forgot we're immuning all the damage anyway. Alright, so we're going to use Aerith on this turn to Wish to Save the Planet and Ardent Prayer. That's going to give us a human killer. It's going to give us a Fire Imbue, Fire Amplify. And now Napi is going to triple Kupo Barrage, and we'll chain that with Jesse, who will triple Refurbished Grenade. Okay, so we'll go ahead and chain this up real quick. See what kind of damage we deal. Okay, respectable. Very nice. We'll go ahead and use Galoof to just go ahead and entrust over to Napi so we can go again in a second. Alright, so here is some AoE stuff that we cover with Galoof, whatever. So Napi will just do this again. We'll go ahead and trust to Aerith so we can do her LB again. Galoof will just refresh cover, I guess, and Gilgamesh can guard. Oh, look at that. We actually probably could have killed Natalia if I had set it up better. Oh well, whatever. We'll kill it next turn. So now Jesse will chain with Napi again, and Napi will chain this up. And there it is. There is all missions on the boss. We actually never even used Gilgamesh. So Gilgamesh irrelevant, I guess. You can ignore him. For some reason, the boss is, I guess, not wanting to end her turn. Oh, she wanted to say ah before she died. Okay, well, that works. There we go. So there was all missions. Technically, we four-manned it. Gilgamesh did literally nothing. I don't know why I brought him. I was gonna, like, break and all, but I realized Jesse breaks, so that was super not important. Napi did all the damage for us. And again, you don't need to bring Napi. You can bring any DPS you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the team we used. So let's get in here and okay, so Gilgamesh, get out of here. We literally did absolutely nothing with you. We did a four-man clear. So there we go. So Galoof is our evasion cover tank, not provoking, keep that in mind. He's got a minimum of 20 fire resist. I don't think the boss even used that AoE fire attack. So maybe it's not even important. I don't know. But technically the whole party had 20 fire resist, and we used an 80% buff from Carbuncle to give, or Barfarega, to give us 100% fire resist. Yeah, I don't think the boss ever used Natalia's Volley, which is the AoE fire magic attack. I don't know. I'm not sure when she does. Maybe she only does it when her gauge is broken. In any case, full evasion Galoof, and 20 or better fire resist, and he was the physical cover, and he also entrusted just to speed it up a little bit. The entrust is not super important. You can bring any physical tank you want, like, you know, Bosch or Gabranth or anyone you want. Aerith in the shift form is just using a little bit of fire resist and some mana regens, all that matters. She did the human killer buff, she did the fire imbue, fire amplify, the stat buff, and the LB buff, and all that. So basically a buffer, and she was given for free pretty recently, so yep. Jessie was our provoker, so she has 100% fire resist because she provokes the single target magic attack. And she is double-handing with a two-handed gun and some double-handed accessories. That way she doesn't miss because of the boss's evasion. So she has 100% accuracy. Other than that, a little bit of LB fill so she can entrust a little bit easier. And she was our source of imperil and break with her LB. So that's why we didn't need Gilgamesh. We immuned all the damage. And then Napi in the base form, a little bit of fire resist, which is not really important. A little bit of LB fill, that's all that matters. Shift form, using kind of a budget build, other than, I guess, the Magister's Helm. But double hands for the accuracy, a little bit of fire resist so that we don't take damage. And then chain cap increase, human killer. And again, you can use any DPS you want. Doesn't need to be Napi. Napi's got 275 human killer. So there was the clear. Okay, hope it's been helpful. There's the budget run for